Welcome to NASCAR America Debrief here on the NBC Motorsports YouTube channel. Nate Ryan here with Kyle Petty, Bubba Wallace.
What up?
Taking your comments on the YouTube channel, which you're watching. Just put your comments in there. But we're going to start by also taking phone calls and start with Trey in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, God.
Welcome to NASCAR America Debrief.
This
Trey.
is my cousin.
We know why you're calling.
Yes, good afternoon. I was calling to ask Bubba, what's the favorite part that he loves about the Martinsville Speedway? And then also I'd like to know why he has Tennessee that's going to be out in the Elite Eight. Does he not have faith in them to go to the Final Four in Minneapolis?
I don't know.
And thank you so much.
Yeah, Trey, good to hear from you. Oh, boy. One thing, I don't even remember what the first part of your question was about Martinsville. I've won 2 truck races. You should know that. You had me on your show last week. So. Yes, and then as far as the balls, I don't know. I just have this certain thing about me. I'm not. If we go to the Final Four, I'm going to be there. I'm going to make arrangements to go there. If we go to the championship, I'm going to make arrangements to be there to support our balls. But I just have something that's telling me just Elite Eight is the farthest we're going to go, and I hate that. But that's just how I feel.
So they're losing to UNC, right? Is that in their bracket, I think?
Who? I think UNC. Yeah, who?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
I might have my bracket right underneath here.
I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know what they're talking about.
You don't care about that.
I don't even know what they're talking about.
All right.
Yeah, whatever.
Go back to the phones. We'll go to Richard in Milford, Pennsylvania. Richard, you're up on NASCAR America Debrief.
Yes. I met Kyle actually a couple of years, many years ago in the 90s at Pocono. He was completely gracious with myself and my daughter. And my question is, my wife, lifelong ambition, I watched Richard from the 70s. Never got to meet him in person. My wife actually got a fist pump from him when he turned 80 at Pocono. And my question to Bubba is, what do you think it will take to get the Petty car in the top 10 on a consistent basis?
Tell him.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Richard. Bubba?
You want to be candid here?
Yeah, that's what
money.
this is.
That's what it's going to take.
Money.
Yeah.
That's
Same
it.
thing we talked about on the last show.
Exactly.
On Motor Mouth.
Myself and my team, we have the ambition and the drive to do it, but we're just working with the cards we have dealt. So, yeah.
Let's go to YouTube for a question. Cam Simpson wants to know, because Kyle Busch has won his 200th race, is he a Hall of Famer? I would perhaps
he's a
suggest he was Hall of Famer already.
And I will say this, and we talked about this. I think people get lost in the 200 number. Okay, Kyle Busch has won 53 Cup races and a championship. 53 Cup races. Only 13 guys in the history of the sport have won over 50 races. Kyle Busch is one of them. He's one of them. He's getting ready to move into the top 10 of all-time winners. He'll tie my grandfather with his next win, I think, and then move ahead of him with his win after that. Those are Hall of Fame numbers. Without 200, without throwing in Xfinity, without throwing in the Truck Series, that's a Hall of Fame career. So the answer to that is yes, definitely. He's a Hall of Fame driver.
I agree.
You agree?
I mean, take
that part out.
There you go. That's what he said, as I said.
Yeah.
All right, back to the phones to Dolores in Indiana. Dolores, you're on NASCAR America Debrief.
Hi.
Hi, Dolores.
I watch the races all the time. I'm an old granny, 80 years old, and tell Bubba he's great.
Thank you.
What I'm calling for is this Kyle Busch. Everybody thinks he's so great, and all those other wins that he doesn't have in Cups, he's the only driver that gets the opportunity to do that. There's hardly any other Cup driver that is even allowed to do that, and when they do, it's very few. And he's running against drivers that's only been in racing for a short while.
All right, do you have any question, Dolores, or just the comment on Kyle?
Well, he's never going to reach Richard. So
Okay. All right.
I know, Dolores. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, and I do understand that. But that's not, even if Kyle Busch is the only guy who is other people have an opportunity to do it if the finances are there. We're back to what Bubba said about Richard Petty Motorsports. With the finances, come the opportunity to race. He has that at Joe Gibbs Racing. He has that with his own truck team. He has those opportunities, and he maximizes those opportunities. You can't argue that point. Every opportunity he gets to get in a truck or get in an Xfinity car, he maximizes that opportunity. He runs in the top 3 or 4 and wins the majority of them. So Kevin Harvick had that opportunity. Tony Stewart, other guys have had that.
Week, yeah.
If you go back to Earnhardt and a bunch of those guys before the Truck Series came along, no, they didn't have that opportunity.
Right.
You know, because you didn't have that many races. But in this day and time, he does, and he maximizes it.
Okay, Grant, another question for Bubba from YouTube. Very important question. Who is the best singer at Saeed's? Ryan Blaney, Bubba, or Chase Elliott?
That's tough. Chase, I don't think he's ever been to Saeed's. He's always denied our invites.
He doesn't get invited.
Or he denies our invites.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
That's it. You know what I'm going to have to throw in? Kyle Larson.
Ooh.
He goes to Saeed's.
No way.
You could probably fill everybody
He
in
has a
here.
timeshare there.
I'm going to wear a body cam. I'm going and wearing a body cam, man. We can
Larson
get some
loves
stuff.
karaoke.
Just for those watching who may be curious, Saeed's is a karaoke bar.
Karaoke bar,
Charlotte area?
yes.
Okay.
It's Huntersville area, yeah.
Okay.
It's a little sketch, but it's a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go back to the phones. Michael in Michigan. Michael, welcome to NASCAR America Debrief.
Great to talk to you, Bob. I've always looked up to you.
Appreciate it.
I don't have like any money, but I have a passion for racing. I wanted to get involved. I heard about the NASCAR Heat thing, but I couldn't. We don't have money for an Xbox or anything, so I'm wondering what I can do.
That's tough, man. It's a great question. I mean, this sport is hard to get in virtually or real life, and you just have to, if you have that passion, you will find a way to get into this sport, whether it's behind the wheel, whether it's on a pit crew, whether it's front office, whatever it is. Your passion will drive you to push you to the new limits to get you in this sport. And I'm sure we'd love to have you because nowadays we always need some new ideas to help this sport grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Never lose that passion and continue to work hard, impress others, and you never know what will be behind that next door.
All right. Appreciate the phone call, Michael. Let's go to Tracy in Louisiana, also on the phone. Tracy, welcome to NASCAR America Debrief.
Hey, guys. Great to talk to y'all. Bob, I got a question. Other than yourself now, who are you most impressed with that you have raced with, driver or today? It could be in any series. I'd like to know what your opinion is on that.
Yeah, I've said this to multiple people. I think I was talking to Amanda, my girlfriend, about it last. I actually put Larson in front of Kyle Busch as the most talented right now. Just seeing what he's able to do and how he just jumps over and jumps in a car and just lights out. And he could go run 500 miles in a cup race on Sunday, and then Monday night go run 40-lap sprint in a sprint car, 410 sprint, and dominate the field there. And then just kind of, he's just very well diverse. And how he could just pop in and out.
Yeah,
I might cause some drama on that, but I've always said that it's a tit for tat thing.
Yeah.
Like they're close. I'm not saying it's Larson's just way better, but it's just impressive what he's been able to do.
Well, in some ways, like Larson is Kyle Busch just in other circuits, right? I mean, Kyle Busch runs trucks, he runs Xfinity, he runs Cup.
Yeah.
Larson chooses not to run as many of those.
I think maybe that's why I'm saying that, because he gets off the NASCAR path and goes to wherever and does his sprint car stuff.
Yeah.
Travels all over the world to be able to do that stuff. So that's pretty cool.
All right.
I've beat both of them, by the way. Just saying.
Just saying. Just throwing it out there.
Let's go back to YouTube for a question. Would a 550 horsepower engine have more throttle response than an 850 horsepower engine lowered to 550 with a tapered spacer?
Damn,
there is a technical question.
That's a very technical question.
Would a 550 horsepower engine have more throttle response?
He's basically asking if last year's engine has more throttle response than this year's engine.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. No, and I will say this. Yeah, I believe this is and listen, you'd have to talk to Doug Yates and those guys. Anytime you restrict the airflow, you restrict the throttle response. Anytime you change the airflow, you change the throttle response. The tapered spacer changes the airflow, okay? And by changing the airflow, it changes the off and on. It's still there, It's still there. It's a lot more there than with a plate.
Right.
Is it not?
Right.
A lot more
Yes.
than with a plate. But a totally open engine is different than any type of spacer, I believe. Now, and again, you'd have to ask an expert like Doug Yates or the engine guys more so than me.
Yeah.
All right.
Or me. I just drive.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the phones. Doug in Florida. Doug, you're on NASCAR America Debrief.
Yeah, 2 quick comments. You can dirt race big cars. I grew up when the Milwaukee Mile was a dirt track. Tim Flock, Fireball Roberts, A.J. Foyt, Unsers used to race Olds 88s, Hudson Hornets, Dodges, Plymouths, everything on a dirt track. Take a 1 mile or something and dirt it up like they do in an arena for a monster truck. Can I make one other quick comment?
Yeah, sure.
My wife and I did Gospel Magic, worked for Motor Racing Outreach, did your Sunday school in Daytona 3 times and Charlotte. Funny thing, doing an illusion, I had kids putting rings around my wife, bolting her to a post. I told one kid, "You're great with that ratchet. You're going to make a good mechanic." He says, "Huh, not me. My dad's Matt Kenseth. I'm going to be a driver."
That's good.
That's fun.
That's good, man. That's good. Listen.
Enjoy your show.
Yeah. Thank you, man. And you're right. You can run Cup cars on dirt. Nobody said you couldn't run. I don't think we ever said you couldn't run them. I'm just not sure what kind of race it would be in this day and time. When you go back to the Hudson Hornet, that's all there was dirt.
Yep.
Okay. So it's apples and oranges, and we're another millennium now.
We got to get our cars off the earth if we want to run on dirt.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you do.
Let's go back to the phones. Rick, San Diego. Rick, you're on NASCAR America Debrief.
All right, I have a suggestion for Cup drivers driving other series.
Okay.
We love suggestions, Rick.
Let them qualify for pit selection only. Make them start at the rear. Give them 1 less set of tires and hand out points as if the Cup guys weren't there.
Hell, look at Kyle Busch, what he did at Vegas in the Xfinity race.
Yeah.
They had to use an extra set early.
The whole theory yesterday.
Good try, though, man. Good try.
Honest, Rick.
Good try. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further thoughts on that?
Look. No. If you're going to race, even the guys. If you go to Christopher Bell or Reddick or any of those guys, they want to race. They don't want Kyle to race with one hand tied behind his back. They don't want Bubba Wallace to race with one hand tied behind his back. If they beat him, they want to say, "By God, I beat him."
That's exactly what I said every time.
Yeah, you don't want. Right. If we're going to allow the Cup guys there, it's got to be heads up. Larry McReynolds has his thought is really good, where he goes, I don't have a problem with Kyle doing this, but he's doing it with his Cup team and his Cup owner and his Cup crew chief and that when you look at it that way, it's kind of like Cup against Xfinity,
right?
In a lot of ways, because Junior Motorsports doesn't have Cup guys over there doing all that stuff, so it is a little bit that way. But if I'm going to beat Kyle Busch or if I'm going to beat Kevin Harvick or Bubba Wallace, and I'm an Xfinity driver, I want to beat him straight up. I don't want to beat him with one hand tied behind the back with one less set of tires, starting at the back, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
all right.
I agree. That's what I said when I was running the trucks and the Xfinity stuff. It's like, I'd love for them to be there because when you win, it's a lot sweeter victory than when it's just the regular guys.
That's what we heard Christopher Bell say, something very similar to that. And makes sense to me. Yeah. All right, well, we appreciate everybody's comments on YouTube, phone calls. If we didn't get to them, try again next week. We're always looking for your feedback here. Thanks again for watching NASCAR America Debrief.